Hello, everybody. How you all doing? Another Stargods vlog. I hope this mic is working because actually, well, people have been saying I can't hear you. I can't hear you, and so I'm about this far from the mic, and I can't bring it any closer. So I have to talk really, really loud, and so that people can hear me. I don't know. So if this sounds okay, please let me know. I just recently did a video for my Patreon page about love, and I just want to say, I was always skeptical of the word love. You gotta love one another. You gotta love, because I grew up in the 60s and 70s where we were attacking full force. We were kicking the government's ass about the Vietnam War. We are the ones that had the Vietnam War shut down for good because of the protests. This was very serious. The big gov. This is powered by YouTube, so I got to be very. They didn't like it at all. So what was the solution? Dummy us all down, get us all dummied down. So in come the hippie movement. Love. There's nothing you can do that can't be done. And all these love songs, and they're preaching love. And, peace, brother. Peace, brother. Don't get so excited. Don't get so wired about the Vietnam War. Smoke marijuana, which was totally available suddenly all over. And LSD had just been leaked to the public. Oh, it's a boo boo. Yeah, leaked to the government, leaked from the government. And now everybody was tripped out on, drugs, basically. They were all drugged out. And then comes Timothy O'Leary, says, he's leading everybody to drop out and say, don't protest the Vietnam War. No, smoke marijuana and listen to the CIA produced music of folk rock, because you could mellow out. All the leaves are brown and the sky is gray. Whoa. Hey, Joe, let's get to that protest. A big protest. That Vietnam protest. Yeah. Oh, man, you go. Yeah, that redhead Mary, she wants it. It was the summer of love and the summer of drugs. And you could just, I don't like the mic being here. I can't afford a new one, though. A summer of drugs, and just tune out, man. Just block the negativity. It's so negative. Oh. And flower power and all that. And what people don't actually remember, and I bring it up from time to time, is that there wasn't just the hippies. There was the Jesus movement. These were solid, homegrown Jesus nuts, fanatics, eh? And so what they do is they'd have these get-togethers with guitar and music. Do you love Jesus? As they move closer to your face. Yeah, back off. Um, so nowadays, same thing's happening. The government's in severe hot water because there's thousands of issues now that people are just beginning to rise up. Look at China. They're rising up like crazy. And they're rising up. So what's the government doing? Love. Yeah, so now we have the climate change, and we got to love the planet. We got to love the planet. We have to have all our rights taken away so that the people that are going to put too much carbon into the atmosphere. We got to get rid of all the cows now. We got to get rid of we got to ban beef. because they're farting and the methane gas is changing the weather and it's causing hurricanes here and there and tidal waves and all that. If you want to stop climate change, protest against the aerosol spraying known as chemtrails. It's an absolute fact. It's not a theory. Yeah, conspiracy theory. And I'm sick of people when they do that. Conspiracy theory. You give yourself no credit at all. If you're talking to somebody, you're a conspiracy researcher. So, anyways, they got all these chemtrails up there. Oh, I could tell you stories and adventures that I went through with that one. Um, eh, wow, it's just all fake-a-rooney. Um, so love is the new. So be aware of that. And I got to get off onto the real topic here. Um, I have abandoned about 99% of all my belief systems, and I have no more sacred cows. They've all been barbecued. You know, did you use hickory? They're all gone. Because now I realize the final truth, that final truth that I finally now realize, and my eyes are open and my ears. The final truth is that all reality is a con job. The only reality I think there is that this is a holographic field that we live on. We live on a flat earth. Why? Because holograms don't work if they're wrapped around globes. They don't work. It has to be a flat surface. And so, yeah, I used to get into the Anunnaki. And when I still do, I find it very fascinating. But there are things in the story that don't add up. They find Earth, and Earth is covered with water. It's been completely flooded. You'll read about it in Jeremiah. It talks about the cities that are gone, and nature in the form of birds are gone, and and then go back to Genesis, and no, Jeremiah. Did I say Jeremiah? So, oh, I need it. Medication. Oh, okay. So Jeremiah talks about, I forget what chapter. I mean, I forget the chapter verse. It's in Jeremiah 4, I believe. It's way down the list. And it talks about the earth being formless and void. The exact same words used for Genesis, formless and void. Um, so it talks about buildings that are no longer there, cities that are no longer there, and birds that I think represent nature that are gone. And it's just one big ball of flood. It's a flooded planet. There's nothing there. So there was an original Earth, and then it got flooded, and then according to the Bible, not the Bible, yeah, I'm getting confused. According to the Bible, God created the world. He didn't. The Anunnaki came in and terraformed the planet to bring it back to normal. And so I'm thinking, well, then there was an original Earth that was destroyed. What was that about? What was that about? I don't know. Like, that's very, very interesting. So then I find out that the Bible, in Genesis, is all rewritten material that they got from Sumerian tablets where they wrote out their history. And in it, it's all about their version of Adam and Eve, Noah and the ark and all that. And, it's all there, but it's all been. I got a lot of my information from Paul Wallace. Brilliant man. So in the beginning, God created the heavens and earth. No, they pasted that word into their story. They took the Sumerian text. Oh, here's your Sumerian. Write it out. Okay, yeah. Oh. In the beginning, God. Yeah. Let's get that in there. So they made it a holy doctrine. And it was never meant to be a holy doctrine. It's a historical doctrine written on the clay tablets. But it predates the Bible, about 6,000 years. So they can't say the Bible's original or that's God speaking or anything because it was already pre-written. All they did is they reproduced it and then they cut and paste, put God in, and then they started to cut and paste. Oh yeah, we'll put Yahweh in. Yahweh was the god of mercantile. It was a Canaanite god, and Canaan, the land of giants, really holy people. So, I'm not going to get into the Bible because in the Bible, wow, I could just go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. It would get to a point where they'd have to bring in the rubber net for me and just, you know. Um, so they came and then they took the primates and they well, like the apes, and then they jacked up the chromosomes, gave them two extra chromosomes or something, and then now you had mankind. Now you had mankind. Well, if the world was flooded, they re-engineered the world, terraformed the world, made it with the mountains, and then put the sky in and all that. Everything that's in the Bible, let there be light and all that. That was all written by the Sumerians, and it's not original. It's not original. It's not God breathed. And the Sumerian text had nothing to do with God. There's nothing godly about it. But then, the Jews cut and paste and put God in there and Yahweh, and they turned it into a holy book, which they formed religion from. And so they tweak the DNA of the ape. And there's where you get evolution from, eh? And so when they say, well, you're just evolved monkeys, yeah, well, we kind of are. We were engineered, we were never created. But then where did those animals come from? I'm not really sure if the planet was flooded and stuff. Where did that? Then we have the Christian Gnostic view that Sophia, who was like this burning energy of light, came, struck the earth, and life just spontaneously sprouted up all over the world. So see now another red herring. Who's right? Who's wrong? And I don't know. It's just all these red herrings that just kind of you find something that sounds believable, and it's wait, no, that's not quite right. So did they create the Anunnaki come and create all the animals or put the animals together? And where did they come? I don't know. Um, or was it Sophia who created Gaia? I mean, you know what I mean? It's like an onion. Like who's right? Choose door number one, door number two, or door number three. It's very hard. It's like picking black flies out of a barrel of pepper. I mean, it's just like it's tough. I always find kind of like these red herrings. So yeah, and the Anunnaki sounds really, really good, really, really clever, but it's all a holographic dream world that we live in. That's what I'm convinced of, because this information of illusion goes back to all the secret societies and religions of the past. They all taught that this is a flat Earth with a dome. And I believe the flat Earth with the dome. Inside the dome, you have the hologram, and outside the barrier, they can look in on us to watch us like as if we were on a petri dish. But we can't get out of the petri dish because of the dome. It's called what is it called? The sacred egg or something. I forget now. But it's the shape of an egg, the dome, the barrier, with a flat plane in the middle, which is Earth. and you don't get out. You don't get out. We're not allowed to get out. So I know in the Anunnaki, they can only come here when the planet, their planet gets close. It's on an elliptical orbit, so when the planet gets close to Earth, then they jump. Don't they have flying saucers? Don't they have space portals that they can travel through? See, another red herring. What's wrong with this picture? You see what I mean? One of my favorites was Barney and Betty were two abductees. They were kidnapped, man and wife kidnapped by aliens, and it's an extremely popular story, and movies have been made about it and stuff. But one thing that really kind of twigged me was that Betty was a white woman, Barney was a black man. How controversial can you get? I smell social engineering there. Something's not right. Social engineering, because that was the most critical, massive issues of the day was race. It wasn't today. It's abortion. Back then, it was race. And I thought, isn't that interesting? That just doesn't happen by chance. I smell the government interfering again, like they did in the '60s and '70s, with their love, love, love. Social engineering on the grandest scale. And I thought, yeah, that's what it is. But what really intrigued me was, okay, she says that there was a metal probe that they had, which they would probe the rectum. All right. Well, with their technology, the highest technology ever known, where they could actually uh, refurbish an entire planet, they have to use these metal probes like in the 1950s. Their technology would have just, whoop, get a full readout. Then she was taken and a needle was placed into her stomach. What? A needle? That's from the 50s too. I forget what you call it. With the highest level of technology, that's what they resort to. Wow. It's another red herring. I'm finding red herrings in everything, especially religion. I'm finding red herrings like all religion seems to be a control system, a mind control system to keep us down. Um, we're to be kept stupid, dumb, and stupid. We are not allowed to have any kind of knowledge at all. And that's what you see in the Bible with Adam and Eve. They partook of the fruit of knowledge, and Yahweh was exploding. He was furious. Oh, he went nuts and started cursing everybody and kicking them out and get out and all this over knowledge. They partook of knowledge. Isn't that why when you bring kids up into the world, you want them to learn? You want them to know things. But I'll tell you, a knowledgeable slave is no longer a slave. If a slave gains knowledge, a slave realizes who he really is. And like Ben Hur, we keep you alive to serve the ship. Row well and live. So you get an uneducated uh, what are those, sloth. He'll row. He won't ask questions. He won't try to overtake the guards. He won't make a plan. He's too stupid. He just becomes a robo machine. I Yeah, and so you got prisoners. It's a fact. You put a smart. You put a guy in prison for life and he's very, very smart. He's going to plan on how to get out. He's going to break free one day. Alcatraz proved that. And they don't want educated, knowledgeable slaves. Our whole society is melted down into some kind of dumbness that, oh no, praise the Lord. Oh! I mean, it's just, and it's, as I say, religion has a very powerful, religion has become Stockholm Syndrome. Their God is Stockholm Syndrome. Um, it's all dummied down. You can't. And they dummy us down. They've destroyed history. You notice we don't know who we are, where we come from, or anything. We're not allowed to have that knowledge. If we knew our past, we would unite and become one. That's no, no, no. They want to divide and conquer, and that's what they do with religion. So, not just to exclusively pick on Christianity, but you got 60,000 dominations of Christianity in the United States. 60,000 registered churches, and every church thinks they're the ones with the truth. Well, I got the truth. And then if somebody says, hey, I heard this thing about the Anunnaki. Whoa, he's got Satan. And they circle the wagons and they keep anybody with knowledge from getting through. They keep the inner circle of the masses very stupid, dumb, hillbilly, and then keep Satan out. No, no, actually, it's then the gunpowder and the. I think did they have the back then? I don't know. I never thought of that. You're thinking again. You're going to burn for that. Because you're not allowed to have independent thought, or you're going to be set on fire by Yahweh. And I don't want to get into it because they'll start really coming out both fists, and I don't want to do that. If it works for you, it works for you. Who am I? So I'm thinking, well, how many minutes here? This is a dream world. This is a holographic dream world. Somebody's programmed the hologram, and I can prove that this is an algorithm. I can prove it, but I'm not going to prove it, and then somebody else steals my ideas and goes on tour, makes millions of dollars, and I'm sick of that game. So on my shows, I'm not going to really give any evidence. It's a take it or leave it bag, okay? So, yeah, and then oh yeah, the Anunnaki said they created mankind as slaves, which see how interesting and how that just dovetails. But there's a problem with that. They were mining gold and they got tired of it. The gods, can you bring the Bengay? It's holy. They, then so they created human beings to do all the heavy work, the mining and when it says in the Bible that Adam was to till the land, look it up in the Strongs. It means slavery. And so it all fits together, you see. But then comes the red herring. If they're so advanced like that, why couldn't they create robots to go out and do the heavy labor and stuff? Robots that are all automated, go in, dig for gold, and they could have like little cameras on their head and they could be monitored by the Anunnaki in their offices with the keyboards. Technology could have done it for them. Why did they have to go through? So, but this can be explained because that could be a cover story. They wanted gold to heal the atmosphere of their planet. I don't buy it because gold, especially monotonic gold, has interdimensional properties. So I think this was a cover story that they needed gold to fix their planet. And so maybe this slavery thing was, if it's true, I don't know. So if the slavery thing is actually true, then that was a cover story. That was a cover story. Because they could have invented robots, automated trucks and lifts, and it could, because their technology was, but they said they had to create man. I think mankind was created for other purposes, and I think one of those purposes was sex, because that's when the Anunnaki fell. They saw these women, and they just lusted, they wanted them, and the very fact that they were lusting for women, it means, who are these people? Are there women, Anunnaki women? I don't know. I haven't really figured that out, but just something. I'm mentioning it just so that you can look it up and figure it out if you're interested, and then let me know. So they were going after Earth women. They were just, and even Yahweh has, in the Bible, has sex with Mary to produce Jesus, and it's pretty explicit in Luke 4. I mean, it's his shadow comes over her, like a Hollywood movie. Oh, it's pretty weird, but and then we have there's layers of truth. Now this could all be true. The Anunnaki thing really fits like a glove. I used to laugh, but now it's starting to fit like a glove. But these little red herrings, why didn't they create robots? Well, maybe because it's a cover story about man. Because they really lusted for the women, they wanted the women, but you don't want to talk about that in historical records that were, punched in on the mud, the earth tablets. You don't want to mention that. So you come up with that could be a reason. And if that's not if it wasn't a cover story, then we have a red herring. We're back to that again. But everything's a con job. All our media is all the news media now is just propaganda to support the con. Religion is to support the con. Religion wants to take uh, what makes us human. They want to take it away from us. You're a filthy sinner in the Lord. You're going to burn unless you submit yourself to the butchered Jesus, sliced and diced and bled out like a farm animal on the cross. Wow, and then gives you guilt, eh? My sins did that to him. I'm not worthy. And you're born in sin, and all this. And it makes you feel guilty. It suppresses you. You don't believe in yourself. This is why the early Christians had to be eliminated, because they believed in themselves. And they had faith in themselves. Because all of the early religions and cultures believed in the divine spark, which was within. That was God within, the power of the universe within. Now we're made to, and that's the thing I notice about Christianity. I don't want to get too heavy with it, but it was all about the worship of Christ. Christ is the divine spark within. This goes back to Egypt. Look up the Egyptian KRST. That was their version of Christ within. Jesus? Who's Jesus? I never heard of any Jesus. So they took all of that and messed it all up and spin doctored it to mean a man named Jesus. It got everybody worshiping a man. You worship that which is within God. And it says, even Yahweh says in Genesis, behold, speaking just after they sinned, Adam and Eve, behold, the man has become as one of us. The definite article. There's no getting around it. But then all the other Bibles, they say because they're perfect and God has preserved them, and I don't think so. They all say like man has become like sorta one of us. No, it says, "Behold, the man has become as one of us." And who's the us? Well, it's God. Any Christian will say, "Well, it's God." Well, then, yeah, then who are we? Chopped liver, cheap imitation, and so we've been fighting against. There's a war between a lot of the angels, a lot of the angels that fell, and there's a war between them and the fallen members of the council that you'll read about in the Bible. There's a war against them and Yahweh. And look at Lucifer tried to overthrow him because Yahweh's not really well liked. Okay, I'm not going to get into it, but he's got a pretty big cigar there. You know what I mean? So everything has kind of, yeah, I'll go, wow, wow, that makes so much sense. And then I'll find a red herring. I'll go, oh, no. Like a good red herring is the theory of atoms. Everybody thinks they're real, and they're not. I don't believe there's atoms. I believe there's torsion fields, but I don't believe in the existence of atoms. Tesla and some other a few other great scientists, noble scientists of knowledge, all said there's no such thing as an electron. So that puts that puts a red herring in quantum physics with the double slit experiment where they fire electrons and they come to these big conclusions. And I've noticed with their experiments, they'll take a little experiment and they'll blow it up and blow it up, make it into something about time travel and existence and all that. And then you look at the experiment and go, where did they get that from? But, hey, yeah, if there's no electrons, and how is it that the nucleus of the atom, which is made up of balls, they love balls, Baal worship. So they have all these balls that are all positively charged. Well, if they're all positively charged, they should be just shooting away from each other. But it's all explained. They came up with a word, a strong force. It's a strong force holds them together. Really? Well, what is the strong force? Where does it come from? How does it operate? What are the dynamics of it? Break it down for me. Scientists can't because it's just a word they came up with. It's just a word. So there's the biggest red herring of all, eh? The strong force, yep. And no electrons. If electrons don't exist, you have to completely redo all science, because everything's about the electrons, the electrons. It goes, well, they don't exist according to Tesla. Tesla was a genius beyond. I think he was one of the world's genius scientists to ever live. And apparently, it was interesting because his mother was born. His mother had him in the womb. His mother got struck by lightning and he emerged. He came out into the world. He got birthed. Wow, that's pretty interesting. Anyways, he was absolutely brilliant. He said there's no electricity. It's lies upon lies upon lie. Everything in this world is a lie. They've taught you lie after lie after lie after lie. They've never taught you the truth. No matter how small or insignificant a subject is, it's lies. It's total lies. Because, like I always say, if you have a little bit of truth, that's dangerous because you can find another little bit of truth, put it together, you get a bigger picture. So, no, what they do is they make sure that It's all lies. Every little particle of so-called truth is a lie. So you put them all together and form a foundation of lies. It's just lies. And the whole medical industry is lies. We don't know anything about the body at all. They won't tell us the truth. It's all lies. It's all lies. Well, this causes that. Lies, lies, lies. Psychology is lies and deception, and the medical industry is just hog wired with lies. Just absolutely filthy, bald headed lies and lies and lies. So, reality is a con job. Reality is all a con job. I don't believe there's very, very little that I believe in. There's very, very little that I believe in. There's only maybe a handful, I can count them on one hand, the things that I believe that are true. The Anunnaki, I don't know. Sounds pretty good. I'm really intrigued and it really fits like a glove, but it's like those little things. Now it could be, see, with the atom, it's a solid um, observation that it's a lie. Because magnets repel, but now there's strong force that they know that that's a lie. With the Anunnaki, it's kind of shaded. Like, okay, the Anunnaki fell, and well, they fell from their saucers, and they came down, and they had sex with all these women and all that. Well, where did they get the desire from, and the body part for, and all that? Well, it could be that the Bible says we were created in the image and likeness of the Anunnaki. Well, they don't say Anunnaki; they say God, in the image and likeness of God. Well, maybe that's well, if that's true, then they're very human. They're very human, and in the ancient days, they had to deliver food to the gods, food, drink, wine. They had to, and then like another real herring is, oh, this is getting long. Red herring is the ark, Noah and the ark. Well, they have the same story, and they chose a man to build an ark and get all the animals in there. Why couldn't they build a super big spaceship and take everything with them? Why do they rely on some simple old goat herder? I don't get it. And to get on the ark, you need all these animals, but they all have to be they all have to have water. So do you have any idea how much water elephants need? I haven't looked it up, but I can imagine elephants need a lot of water. A lot of animals need a lot of water. Where are you going to store 40 days and 40 nights of water? That alone would weigh the ship right down, because water is very, very heavy. Now, the red herring, you see, so I can't believe that actually happened. It has to be something mythological. Anyways, you'll always find these red herrings and then go for it. So I was going to put this on my Patreon, but I'm still not confident in my use of Patreon, so I'll just put this straight up for the public to look at. And I don't know. So I'll put this out to the public. Patreon, I'm still working on it. I'm still trying to see if my love video went up. I haven't checked yet, but knock wood. So thank you very much, and I don't care what you believe. Just try to think. Just think. That's more important. That's my religion. Observe, reason, use logic, think. That's my religion. Instead of just blindly believing cover stories, blindly believing everything that the dark entities tell us and feed to us. Okay, so gotta go. Thank you very much, and I'll be back.